Good evening, my friends. Tonight I want to share with you the story of a woman who walks alone. She's a woman who does not wait for permission. She does not seek approval, and she does not ask for validation. She's the one who steps into the world with her own vision, her own dreams, and her own rhythm. She is the woman who walks alone. Now, I know that for many, the idea of walking alone can seem intimidating. It might even feel like a challenge, a path that's too lonely or too uncertain. But let me tell you something, this woman knows the power of solitude. She doesn't see it as loneliness, she sees it as liberation. She sees it as the very space in which she can breathe, reflect, and grow. It takes courage to walk alone. It takes courage to say, I will not let society tell me who I should be or where I should go in a world that often wants to dictate our every move. It takes an immense amount of bravery to walk away from the crowd and say, this is my journey. She knows that every step she takes brings her closer to her true self, no longer confined by expectations or limitations. And let me tell you something, she is not afraid of what she'll find, because when you walk alone, you face your fears, you face your doubts, you face the moments when you wonder if you are enough. But here's the truth, in those moments, you build resilience. You strengthen your spirit. You teach yourself that you are more than enough. You are exactly who you were meant to be. This woman is not walking alone because she is weak. She's walking alone because she is strong enough to choose herself. She is free to make her own decisions. She is free to make choices that align with her heart and her soul, not based on the expectations of others. And that freedom, it is priceless. We live in a world that constantly tells women how they should act, who they should be with, and what they should desire. But the woman who walks alone doesn't listen to the noise. She walks to the beat of her own drum, crafting her life, her story, and her vision, no one else's. And in doing so, she teaches the world what true authenticity looks like. Authenticity is powerful, my friends. It's easy to conform, to fit into molds, to wear the mask of what everyone else expects you to be. But the woman who walks alone knows that authenticity is where her power lies. She is not afraid to be seen for who she truly is. Her truth is her strength, and she wears it proudly, even when the world may not fully understand it. And let me tell you this, she is inspiring others. Every woman who dares to walk alone creates a ripple effect, lighting the way for others to follow. When you walk alone with courage, you make space for others to find their own path. You become the example. You show the world that it's okay to go your own way, to be unapologetically you. So to every woman out there who is walking alone, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are walking with the strength of every woman who has come before you. You are walking with the wisdom of generations. And most importantly, you are walking toward your own destiny. Keep walking, keep choosing yourself, because in the end, it's not about where you walk or how many people walk with you. It's about the power you find within yourself to walk your own path. And when you do, you will change the world. Empowerment through solitude is a powerful and often misunderstood concept. When we think of solitude, we might initially feel a sense of loneliness or isolation. Society often paints the picture of solitude as something negative, something that means you're left out or abandoned. But what if we looked at it differently? What if we saw solitude as a space of strength, a place where we are truly free to connect with ourselves and our deepest truths? There is incredible power in walking alone, in choosing to spend time by yourself, without distractions, without the opinions of others clouding your vision. It is in these moments of quiet, of stillness, that we have the opportunity to listen to our own thoughts, to reconnect with our inner voice, and to remember who we really are. Solitude gives us the chance to reflect on our past, assess our present, and envision our future. It creates room for growth, for learning, for understanding. When you are alone, you are forced to rely on yourself. You don't have the external validation of others to tell you whether you're on the right path or not. You are your own guide, and that builds confidence. It cultivates trust in your own decisions. Every time you choose to be by yourself, you are teaching yourself that you don't need anyone else to tell you what's best for you. You become your own authority, your own strength. You develop a sense of independence that is rare and invaluable in today's interconnected world, where many are constantly seeking approval from others. Through solitude, we learn that we are enough. We don't need to be constantly surrounded by others to feel worthy, to feel seen. When we're alone, we strip away the masks we wear for the world and get to the heart of who we truly are. There is no need to perform. There is only the truth of our being. In solitude, we can embrace our flaws, acknowledge our mistakes, and celebrate our victories, all without the pressure of comparison. Solitude also allows us the time to heal and to process our emotions in ways that would be impossible in a crowded room or an overstimulated environment. In the quiet of our own company, we can sit with our pain, our joy, our fear, and our hope. And in that space, healing happens. We can begin to see ourselves as whole, capable, and worthy of love and respect exactly as we are. There is an undeniable empowerment that comes from embracing our own company. The more we embrace solitude, the more we learn to trust ourselves, to love ourselves, and to become the people we were always meant to be. It is in these moments that we discover our strength, not in spite of being alone, but because of it. In solitude, we uncover our truest potential, and we become the authors of our own lives. When we walk alone, we find our path, our purpose, and our power. Embracing courage is one of the most profound acts of self-love and personal growth that any individual can undertake. It requires stepping into the unknown with a heart full of conviction, even when the outcome is uncertain. Even when the road ahead seems daunting. Courage isn't the absence of fear, rather, it is the willingness to move forward despite it. When a person embraces courage, they are not waiting for the fear to disappear before acting, they are moving with it, through it, and beyond it. For many, courage begins as a whisper, a quiet urge to take the next step, to challenge the status quo, to venture beyond the comfortable confines of what is familiar. It's in those moments of hesitation, when doubt starts to creep in and the voice of insecurity gets louder, that courage is called upon the most. It's in those very moments that choosing to step forward becomes the ultimate expression of strength. The courageous soul knows that the true value of life is not found in playing it safe, but in embracing risk and taking chances and living with passion and purpose. Embracing courage also means standing firm in your convictions, even when the world around you might not understand. It means having the strength to say no when everyone else says yes, or to say yes when everyone else says no. It means following your own inner compass, regardless of external opinions or pressures. Courage requires trusting that your intuition knows what is best for you, even when the rest of the world may be telling you something different. It's the courage to choose your own path, even when that path is not the most popular or easy one to take. Courage is also about confronting the parts of ourselves that we have been afraid to face. It's about looking at our deepest fears, our insecurities, and our past wounds and saying, I am willing to deal with you. The act of confronting our fears and moving through them is an incredibly empowering experience. It allows us to grow, to heal, and to come out stronger on the other side. It teaches us that fear doesn't have to hold us back. It can be a powerful force that propels us forward if we choose to face it head on. Sometimes courage looks like taking the first step when we have no idea where the path will lead. It can be the simple act of trying even when failure is a possibility. In these moments, courage isn't about success, it's about showing up. It's about choosing to participate in life despite the uncertainty, despite the risks, and despite the fear of what might happen. The courageous person is not afraid to fail because they understand that failure is simply a lesson, not a permanent condition. They know that each failure brings them closer to success. Each misstep brings them closer to growth. Courage also means standing tall in the face of adversity. It means keeping your head up when life knocks you down, even when the weight of the world feels like it's too much to bear. It's about enduring through hardships, knowing that the storm will pass and that you will emerge stronger on the other side. Those who embrace courage understand that life isn't always easy, but they know that they are capable of handling whatever challenges come their way. They believe in their own strength, even when the world might not. To embrace courage is to trust in yourself, to honor your own voice, and to take action in alignment with your values, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable. It's the willingness to face the unknown, to challenge the limits that have been imposed on you, and to take a stand for the person you are becoming. Courage is the key that unlocks the door to living a life that is not defined by fear, but by boldness, authenticity, and purpose. It is the foundation on which you build a life that is truly yours, one step at a time. Self-discovery and growth are fundamental aspects of the human experience, and they often go hand in hand, fueling each other in a continuous cycle of learning and transformation. At the core of self-discovery is the desire to understand who we truly are, beyond the roles we play or the labels that society assigns to us. It's about peeling back the layers of conditioning, expectations, and past experiences to uncover the essence of who we really are at our core. This process is both beautiful and challenging, as it requires us to face not only our strengths, but also our fears, our doubts, and the parts of ourselves that we may have hidden away for years. Through self-discovery and growth, we also come to understand the importance of self-compassion. As we evolve, we will inevitably make mistakes, experience setbacks, and encounter failures, but these are not signs of weakness or failure. They are simply part of the journey. The key is not to be discouraged by them, but to learn from them, to use them as stepping stones toward greater wisdom and understanding. With each misstep, we gain valuable insight into ourselves and our path forward. Breaking societal expectations is one of the most profound acts of personal freedom and empowerment that anyone can undertake. From the moment we are born, society begins to shape us, assigning roles, expectations, and standards of behavior that dictate how we should live, how we should look, and who we should become. These societal pressures can come in many forms: family expectations, cultural norms, gender roles, career paths, or even superficial measures of success like wealth or appearance. But when we dare to break free from these molds, when we choose to define ourselves on our own terms, we begin to experience true liberation. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that there is a prescribed way to live a successful life. We are told that we should follow a specific path, get good grades, attend a prestigious school, secure a stable job, get married, have children, and so on. These are the steps society has outlined, and often we follow them blindly without questioning whether they are truly what we want for ourselves. But for many, this path can feel confining, limiting, or even unfulfilling. The pressure to conform can stifle creativity, suppress individuality, and create a sense of disconnection from our authentic selves. To break societal expectations is to reclaim our autonomy, to remind ourselves that we are not here to follow someone else's script. It is an act of self-love and self-respect, because it acknowledges that we as individuals are deserving of the freedom to make our own choices. It is about honoring our own unique path, even if it diverges from what others may expect or approve of. In choosing to break away from the expected, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, to new experiences, and to the creation of a life that is deeply fulfilling and true to who we are. At the heart of breaking societal expectations is the rejection of comparison. Society thrives on comparisons: who has more, who is doing better, who has the ideal life. But when we constantly compare ourselves to others, we lose sight of what truly matters: our own sense of fulfillment. What society often overlooks is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to happiness or success. We each have our own desires, our own vision of what it means to live a meaningful life. When we embrace this uniqueness and stop measuring our worth against the standards set by others, we free ourselves to create lives that resonate with our personal truth. Moreover, breaking free from societal expectations is not just about individual liberation, it is about creating a ripple effect that empowers others. When we choose to live authentically, when we choose to stand tall in our truth, we inspire others to do the same. We create a space where others feel safe to shed the expectations that have been placed upon them and follow their own path. The more people who dare to break free from these societal molds, the more we create a culture of authenticity, acceptance, and possibility. The freedom to choose is one of the most fundamental aspects of living a fulfilled and authentic life. It is the power to decide what paths to take, what relationships to nurture, and what values to uphold. This freedom allows us to shape our own destinies, to create a life that reflects our desires, needs, and personal truths rather than being bound by the expectations of others or the circumstances into which we were born. In a world that often imposes limitations and seeks to define us by labels, the freedom to choose offers us the ultimate form of self-expression and self-determination. However, with the freedom to choose comes responsibility. It means that we must also accept the consequences of our decisions. Every choice, whether big or small, shapes the course of our lives. And while this responsibility can feel daunting at times, it is also incredibly empowering. The freedom to choose is not about making the perfect decisions every time. It's about having the agency to make decisions at all, and knowing that we have the ability to course correct when needed. It's about trusting ourselves to make choices that align with our values, even if those choices challenge the norms or expectations around us. But the freedom to choose also gives us the power to change course. Life is unpredictable, and as we grow, our needs and desires may shift. The beauty of this freedom is that it is not fixed, it is fluid. We can choose to take a new direction, to start a new chapter, or to let go of something that no longer aligns with who we are becoming. This flexibility allows us to evolve and adapt, to grow into the person we were always meant to be. Each new choice becomes an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to expand our horizons, and to learn more about the vast potential within us. The freedom to choose also connects us to others. While it may seem like a solitary act, in many ways the ability to choose allows us to build deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. When we choose people who uplift and support us, when we choose relationships that nourish our well-being, we create bonds that are built on mutual respect and authenticity. The freedom to choose allows us to be selective about the energy we bring into our lives, ensuring that we are surrounded by those who help us grow and thrive. Ultimately, the freedom to choose is about embracing our own sovereignty. It is about recognizing that we are the architects of our lives and that the power to shape our future lies within us. It is about trusting ourselves enough to make decisions based on what we truly want, not what others think we should want. This freedom isn't just about making choices for ourselves, it is about owning the power to create a life that reflects who we are at our core. When we fully embrace this freedom, we discover the immense joy that comes with living a life that is uniquely ours, designed with our own values, passions, and dreams in mind. Facing fears and overcoming doubts are some of the most transformative and powerful steps anyone can take in their personal journey. Fear and doubt are natural emotions that arise whenever we step outside of our comfort zone, whenever we are called to take a leap into the unknown. These feelings are often seen as barriers, obstacles standing in the way of progress and achievement. But what if we viewed them not as obstacles, but as indicators that we are on the edge of something great? What if we saw them as opportunities for growth, as invitations to step into a stronger, more courageous version of ourselves? At the heart of fear is the unknown. Our minds are wired to seek safety, to avoid discomfort, and to protect us from perceived threats. Yet, the fear of the unknown often keeps us from living fully. It prevents us from exploring new opportunities, from pursuing dreams, and from taking risks that could lead to profound personal growth. The truth is, fear is not something that can be eradicated. It is something we learn to manage and move through. Every time we face our fears, we expand our capacity for courage. We begin to realize that fear is not something that controls us, but something we can coexist with, something that doesn't need to paralyze us. Overcoming doubt works in a similar way. Doubt is the inner voice that questions our abilities, our worth, and our potential. It's that nagging thought that tells us we're not good enough, not capable enough, or that we're not worthy of success and happiness. Doubt can be crippling, leaving us paralyzed in a state of inaction, constantly second-guessing ourselves. But doubt is also a universal experience. Everyone experiences it at some point, and it doesn't have to define us. In fact, doubt often arises when we are on the verge of stepping into new territory, when we are about to push ourselves beyond our limits. It is a sign that we are growing, that we are reaching for something greater than what we have known. The key to overcoming doubt is not to eliminate it, but to acknowledge it and choose to act despite it. It's about trusting in our abilities and taking the first step even when the path ahead is unclear. By taking action, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we realize. Each small victory over doubt reinforces our belief in ourselves, building the confidence we need to keep going. The more we act despite our doubts, the more we learn that we are not defined by our fears or insecurities, but by the courage to move forward, even when we don't feel completely sure of ourselves. One of the most profound realizations in facing fears and overcoming doubts is understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. Often, the fear of failure is what holds us back the most. We fear making mistakes, we fear looking foolish, or we fear that others will judge us. But the truth is, failure is a powerful teacher. It is through failure that we learn the most about ourselves, our resilience, our strength, and our ability to rise again. Failure isn't permanent, it's simply feedback, an opportunity to course correct, to refine our approach, and to come back stronger. When we face our fears and doubts head on, we begin to realize that they don't have to control our actions. They don't have to define us. Instead of allowing fear to hold us back, we start to use it as fuel. Fear can push us to prepare more thoroughly, to strive harder, and to stay committed to our goals. Doubt can motivate us to prove to ourselves that we are capable, to challenge the negative thoughts that arise and replace them with affirmations of our own potential. The journey of facing fears and overcoming doubts requires a mindset shift. It's about reframing fear and doubt not as things to avoid, but as things to move through. We can acknowledge them, honor them, but not let them dictate the direction of our lives. This shift in perspective is empowering because it places the control back in our hands. Instead of seeing ourselves as victims of fear or doubt, we begin to see ourselves as resilient warriors capable of rising above them. Each time we choose courage, we reinforce the belief that we can handle whatever comes our way, and that our worth is not determined by the outcome, but by the strength it takes to keep going. In this process, it's also important to surround ourselves with support. Fear and doubt can feel incredibly isolating, but sharing our struggles with others can be deeply freeing. When we connect with people who encourage us, who remind us of our strengths, and who have walked similar paths, we are reminded that we are not alone. Sometimes the simple act of sharing our fears can dissipate their power over us. In the presence of support, our fears shrink and our doubts lose their grip. Overcoming fear and doubt also involves embracing vulnerability. Being vulnerable is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's the courage to be honest with ourselves and others about what we are struggling with. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we release the pressure of perfection and we give ourselves permission to be human. This vulnerability allows us to face our fears more openly and to work through our doubts more honestly. It opens up space for growth, for learning, and for healing. In the end, facing fears and overcoming doubts is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong process. It's about continually stepping into the discomfort, choosing courage over comfort, and proving to ourselves that we are capable of handling whatever life throws our way. Every time we face fear and doubt, we grow stronger, more resilient, and more confident in our ability to navigate the challenges ahead. And in doing so, we unlock the limitless potential within us, discovering that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. The power of authenticity lies in its ability to connect us with our true selves and the world around us in a deeply meaningful way. When we are authentic, we no longer feel the need to wear masks or conform to expectations that don't align with who we are. Instead, we are free to show up exactly as we are, with all our imperfections, strengths, and unique qualities. This act of living in alignment with our true selves is incredibly empowering, as it allows us to cultivate lives that are full of purpose, fulfillment, and deep connection. Authenticity is the foundation of self-trust. When we are true to ourselves, we begin to trust our own instincts, desires, and decisions. We stop seeking validation from others or relying on external approval to determine our worth. The more we embrace our authenticity, the more we understand that our value does not depend on meeting others' standards, but on embracing our own unique journey. Authenticity helps us to stay grounded in our own truth, even when the world around us may be filled with distractions or conflicting messages. It is through living authentically that we come to understand that we are enough, just as we are. This power of authenticity extends to our relationships with others. When we show up authentically, we invite others to do the same. Authenticity breeds trust, openness, and vulnerability, creating deeper and more meaningful connections. People can feel when we are being genuine with them, and in turn, they feel safe to open up and be real with us. In these authentic connections, we can share our true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. These bonds, founded on mutual honesty, are the ones that nourish and sustain us, providing the support and understanding that we need to grow and thrive. Living authentically also means being comfortable with our imperfections. Society often pressures us to be perfect, to look a certain way, achieve certain milestones, or act a specific way. But perfection is an illusion. It's an unattainable standard that can lead to constant self-criticism, feelings of inadequacy, and anxiety. When we embrace authenticity, we give ourselves permission to be imperfect. We learn to accept the parts of ourselves that we once tried to hide or change, recognizing that our flaws are what make us human. It is through these imperfections that we find our greatest strengths and our most profound lessons. Authenticity also fosters a sense of freedom. When we stop pretending to be something we're not, we liberate ourselves from the mental and emotional weight of living up to others' expectations. We no longer need to perform or put on a facade to gain acceptance. Instead, we can let go of the pressure to conform and simply be ourselves. This freedom allows us to pursue our passions, express our creativity, and live a life that is aligned with our values. In choosing authenticity, we break free from the limitations imposed by societal standards and open up to the infinite possibilities that come with being true to who we are. Moreover, authenticity empowers us to make choices that reflect our own values and desires rather than living in reaction to the expectations of others. When we are authentic, we are no longer bound by the need to please, impress, or fit in. We make decisions that are aligned with our deepest desires, knowing that these choices will lead us toward a life that feels true and fulfilling. Whether it's in our careers, our relationships, or our personal goals, authenticity helps us navigate the world with clarity and purpose. It gives us the courage to take risks and make bold choices, knowing that we are acting in accordance with our own truth. Living authentically also strengthens our resilience. Life inevitably presents challenges, but when we are authentic, we approach these challenges with a sense of inner strength. Because we are living in alignment with our true selves, we have a solid foundation to draw upon when times get tough. We know who we are and what we stand for, which helps us stay grounded and focused in the face of adversity. Authenticity gives us the courage to face life's difficulties with grace and determination because we trust that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. The power of authenticity also lies in its ability to inspire others. When we live authentically, we serve as role models for others to do the same. Our willingness to embrace our true selves encourages others to drop their masks and be real. By leading with authenticity, we create a ripple effect that spreads beyond us, fostering a culture where people feel empowered to be their true selves. In this environment, everyone is free to live fully, without fear of judgment or rejection. The more we embrace our authenticity, the more we inspire others to step into their own power and live with the same honesty and courage. Ultimately, the power of authenticity lies in the freedom and peace that it brings. When we live authentically, we are no longer burdened by the need to conform or please others. We no longer have to hide behind facades, also pretend to be something we are not. Instead, we embrace who we are with all our flaws, strengths, and complexities. This acceptance of ourselves allows us to live with a sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from knowing that we are true to our own hearts. It is through authenticity that we unlock our greatest potential, build the most meaningful connections, and create a life that is truly our own. Redefining success is a powerful journey of self-discovery and transformation. For too long, society has defined success in narrow terms measured by external markers like wealth, social status, or traditional achievements. From a young age, we are often taught that success means securing a high-paying job, owning a big house, accumulating material possessions, or climbing the corporate ladder. These external benchmarks create a universal standard of success that many strive for, but for some, they fail to capture what true success means on a deeper, more personal level. True success can be found in the quality of our relationships. Building and nurturing meaningful connections with the people we love and care for can be just as important, if not more so, than any professional accomplishment. Success is about being present for our families and friends, offering support, kindness, and love. It's about showing up as our authentic selves, creating bonds that are built on trust and mutual respect. In this sense, success is about cultivating emotional wealth, the richness that comes from meaningful connections rather than the superficiality of social status or material possessions. Redefining success also means focusing on personal growth and self-actualization. Success is not a fixed destination, but an ongoing journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. It is about continually learning, evolving, and challenging ourselves to grow beyond our current limitations. Success can be measured by the courage to confront our fears, to embrace change, and to pursue our passions even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. It's about the joy that comes from the pursuit of knowledge, the development of new skills, and the dedication to becoming better each day, regardless of whether external recognition follows. In this new definition of success, the importance of inner peace and well-being cannot be overstated. Success is not solely about what we achieve outwardly, but how we feel inwardly. A successful life is one that is grounded in balance, one where we prioritize our mental, emotional, and physical health. It is about finding harmony between our professional and personal lives, carving out time for self-care, rest, and reflection. Success is about being content with who we are in the present moment, not constantly striving for an elusive future goal. The peace that comes from being comfortable with where we are in life and accepting ourselves without judgment is a powerful measure of success. Furthermore, success can be found in the freedom to live life on our own terms. When we redefine success, we give ourselves the permission to choose the path that feels right for us, rather than the path that others think we should take. It's about having the courage to make decisions based on our values, not on societal pressure or expectations, whether that means pursuing an unconventional career, traveling the world, or dedicating ourselves to a cause we care about. Success is about living authentically and unapologetically. It is about embracing the freedom to choose what brings us joy, even if it defies traditional standards of achievement. In this redefined vision of success, it's important to embrace the idea that success looks different for everyone. There is no universal formula or timeline for achieving success. What is fulfilling and meaningful to one person may not hold the same weight for someone else. By redefining success, we give ourselves permission to honor our own unique path without comparing ourselves to others. Success is personal. It's about finding what brings us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. It's about trusting our own instincts and creating a life that feels right for us, not one that meets someone else's expectations. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we step into a place of honesty and self-acceptance. We stop hiding behind facades, pretending to be someone we're not, or suppressing our feelings out of fear of judgment. Vulnerability allows us to show up in the world as our true selves, with all our flaws, fears, hopes, and desires. It's an act of bravery to be seen as we are, without the shield of perfection or the need to present an image of strength that others expect. This courage to reveal our authentic selves is not a sign of weakness, but rather a profound demonstration of emotional strength. It takes immense strength to open ourselves up to the world and allow ourselves to be fully seen. Being vulnerable also allows us to create deeper and more meaningful connections with others. When we show our authentic selves, we give others permission to do the same. This creates an environment of mutual understanding and empathy, where we can share our struggles, fears, and dreams without fear of rejection or misunderstanding. Vulnerability fosters trust. It is the key to forming emotional bonds that are not based on superficiality, but on shared experiences and mutual respect. When we connect with others in this way, we cultivate relationships that nourish and support us, rather than those built on the pretense of perfection or the need to impress. Moreover, vulnerability is the gateway to emotional healing. We often carry emotional wounds, past traumas, and unprocessed feelings that can weigh us down. These emotions, if left unaddressed, can fester and shape our behavior in unhealthy ways. However, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and acknowledge these emotions, we create space for healing. Being vulnerable means facing the parts of ourselves we may have been avoiding, the sadness, the grief, the anger, or the fear, and allowing ourselves to feel them fully. This process of emotional release can be incredibly liberating, as it enables us to let go of the emotional baggage that has been holding us back. Through vulnerability, we learn to accept and love ourselves in our entirety rather than only the polished, perfect parts. Vulnerability also encourages creativity and innovation. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to new possibilities. We become more willing to take risks, to try new things, and to step into the unknown. In a world where perfectionism often stifles creativity, vulnerability is a powerful antidote. It allows us to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow. By embracing our imperfections, we tap into a deeper level of creativity that is free from the constraints of fear and self-doubt. This creativity, fueled by vulnerability, can lead to breakthroughs in our personal lives, our careers, and our relationships. Furthermore, vulnerability is essential for self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh and critical with ourselves, especially when we fall short of our expectations or make mistakes. However, when we embrace vulnerability, we allow ourselves the grace to be imperfect. We stop berating ourselves for not being flawless, and instead we show ourselves the kindness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one. Vulnerability teaches us that it's okay to struggle, to not have everything figured out, and to ask for help when we need it. It encourages us to embrace our humanity rather than seeing our vulnerabilities as flaws to be hidden or ashamed of. In relationships, vulnerability strengthens the bond between individuals. When we open up to others, we invite them to do the same, creating an environment where authenticity thrives. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic relationships, vulnerability fosters intimacy and trust. It allows us to be real with one another without the need to mask our true feelings or wear a facade. Vulnerability deepens our emotional connection with others as we become more attuned to their needs, fears, and desires. It fosters mutual support and understanding, allowing us to navigate life's challenges together. Finally, vulnerability is a source of personal empowerment. It takes strength to be vulnerable, to face our own fears, and to accept ourselves as we are. By embracing vulnerability, we take control of our own narrative. We stop allowing shame, fear, or societal expectations to dictate how we show up in the world. We reclaim our power by accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all, and by allowing others to see us in our truth. This authenticity is not only liberating, but it also inspires others to do the same. When we embrace our vulnerability, we give others permission to embrace theirs as well, creating a ripple effect of courage, connection, and empowerment. Inspiring others to walk their own path is one of the most powerful ways to make a lasting impact in the world. When we live authentically, we not only create the space to express our true selves, but we also set an example for others to do the same. Each of us has a unique journey, and by embracing our own path, we inspire others to take ownership of their lives, trust their instincts, and carve out their own course in a world that often pushes conformity. The key to inspiring others lies in living with purpose and integrity. When we follow our own path, we make decisions based on our values, passions, and desires rather than seeking approval from others or trying to fit into predefined molds. Our willingness to embrace our authenticity, even when it feels uncertain or uncomfortable, sends a powerful message to others that it is okay to pursue what truly resonates with us, even if it doesn't align with societal expectations or norms. By doing so, we show that it's possible to honor our inner voice and navigate life on our terms, no matter how unconventional that path may seem. Inspiring others to walk their own path also requires vulnerability. It is easy to fall into the trap of hiding our struggles or presenting only the polished version of ourselves. However, when we share our challenges, setbacks, and the lessons we've learned along the way, we open up the space for others to feel seen and understood. Our vulnerabilities make us relatable and human, and they allow others to see that it's okay to stumble, to make mistakes, and to face adversity. When we embrace these moments of imperfection and share them with honesty, we provide a sense of permission for others to do the same. We demonstrate that walking our own path isn't about perfection, but about resilience, learning, and growing. Encouraging others to walk their own path also means lifting them up and offering support. We can inspire others by recognizing their unique gifts, talents, and potential, and by encouraging them to trust in their abilities. It's about acknowledging that each person's journey is their own and that their choices are valid, even if they look different from ours. Sometimes all someone needs is a word of encouragement or a reminder that they are capable of achieving their dreams. By affirming the worth of others and helping them recognize their own potential, we empower them to step into their own journey with confidence and courage. Another key element of inspiring others to walk their own path is giving them the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. No one's journey is linear, and sometimes the best lessons come from the missteps along the way. By embracing the concept of trial and error, we encourage others to trust their own process, knowing that mistakes are not failures but opportunities for growth. This mindset shift allows people to take risks and explore new possibilities without the fear of judgment or failure holding them back. It's about creating an environment where people feel free to experiment, explore, and discover what truly fulfills them, rather than sticking to a path simply because it's familiar or expected. At the same time, it's important to recognize that everyone's path is different. What works for one person may not work for another, and that's okay. When we inspire others to walk their own path, we do not impose our way of life onto them, but rather give them the tools to find their own truth. We provide encouragement, understanding, and inspiration, but ultimately it is up to each individual to decide what resonates with them and what they want to create for themselves. True inspiration doesn't come from telling others what to do, it comes from leading by example, offering guidance, and allowing others to make their own decisions with confidence. Walking our own path also means embracing our individuality and celebrating our uniqueness. In a world that often encourages comparison, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we should follow someone else's blueprint for success. However, the most inspiring people are those who are unapologetically themselves, those who do not feel the need to conform to societal standards or follow the crowd. By embracing our individuality, we show others that it is possible to live a fulfilling life that is uniquely ours without the pressure to measure up to someone else's expectations. This celebration of individuality encourages others to step into their authenticity and live their lives with more courage and conviction. Furthermore, inspiring others to walk their own path is a reminder that life is not about reaching a destination, but about the journey itself. It is about embracing the process, finding joy in the moments of growth, and being open to the twists and turns along the way. When we live with this mindset, we model for others that it's okay to take detours, explore new opportunities, and redefine success along the way. The beauty of walking our own path lies not in arriving at a particular destination, but in the richness of the experiences, lessons, and relationships that we cultivate along the journey. The ripple effect of inspiring others to walk their own path can create profound change in the world. When we choose to live authentically and encourage others to do the same, we contribute to a collective shift in the way people approach life. As more individuals step into their own power, make decisions aligned with their true selves, and embrace their unique journeys, we create a society that values diversity, individuality, and authenticity. In turn, this inspires even more people to break free from societal constraints, to pursue their passions, and to walk the path that feels most true to them. Ultimately, inspiring others to walk their own path is about creating a space where people feel safe, supported, and empowered to embrace who they truly are. It is about leading by example, offering encouragement, and showing others that it is possible to live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and uniquely their own. By embracing our own journey and encouraging others to do the same, we create a world where individuality is celebrated, authenticity is honored, and everyone has the freedom to walk the path that is meant for them.